are relatable to you, So yeah, you can note things down yourself. Some of you can be kind enough to also note some key things that I will say into the chat box so others can see as well. That'll be really good. Right, cool. So now let's move on to the business of the day, a digital business. When it comes to digital businesses, sometimes people think it's, I've had people who thought if you say running a digital business, it means it's an IT firm, right? Or a company into digital marketing or something. But for me, it's about the fact that, the way the traditional or the brick and mortar companies, were have been running over time. And just to even, before I go further, I want to explain how I explain what a business is, right? Sometimes we make a mistake of confusing what a business really is from what a company is, or what an organization is, what an office structure is. Okay, I define a business to be an activity, right? Business is an activity where one party has a solution to another party's problem. So there's a party who has a solution to another party's problem, where the one that the solution is meant for is willing and able to pay a price for that solution without doubting the credibility, the delivery, of the one providing the solution. I will take it again. A business is an activity where one party has a solution for another party's problem, where the one that the solution is meant for is willing, take note of these words, willing and able to pay a price for the solution without doubting the credibility, the delivery of the one providing the solution. That's a business. So until you've been able to have an access to a customer or someone who needs the solution that you provided. So that comes down to the basics, right? I'm thinking of the basics. You need a solution to be able to start a business or to be able to start a company. So what is the solution you're providing? You understand? Now, is that solution relevant to the one the solution is meant for? Why am I asking that? There are different solutions available right now for different problems. Okay, so if I want to have photographs of myself taken, I can either go to a professional photographer to book a session, or I can use my iPhone. Both are solutions, but which one will be more relevant to me? You understand? And being relevant to who depends on the market you are serving. For maybe a student, the phone will be best, but for like a brand, the photographer will be best. So in the end, they are both solutions, but they are relevant to different target groups. You understand? And that is one thing about this entire business thing. So once the one that the solution is meant for is willing and able, means that they are willing because they want the solution that you're providing. They are able because they can pay a price for it, right? Without doubting your credibility and the delivery, you understand, of the one providing the solution. You understand? And that for me, it's when a business has been established. So without these building blocks, you don't have a business. Now, what is a company? A company is basically an entity. When we say an entity, something that exists in our minds, an entity where the activity of business is carried out. So if we talk about a company, it involves people who come together to form an entity, to carry out a certain business activity. That's a company. So an office space is the structure where the activity of business or a company runs its business activities. So sometimes we've been confusing these terms, thinking that the office structure is the company. A business is the company. So the business establishes the company establishes the office space, literally. You understand? So now, coming back to the office space, that is where now, because of the trends, digitalization, now we are saying, okay, from after establishing a business activity and creating a company out of it, now let's take it out. So whatever would have happened in your physical office space is now what we are taking onto the digital platforms. Why? Because of digitalization, because of technology, because of how things have changed over time with what consumers are looking for, how they want the solutions you are providing, and how best the solution can be provided on time. And that's one thing I always tell most entrepreneurs that I get to meet, that right now, let me give you 4 major things, right? 4 major things that every consumer is looking for. Every consumer wants to save time. Note these things down. Every consumer wants to save time. Every consumer wants to save costs. That's the second one. So I've talked about time, I've talked about cost. Thirdly, every consumer wants a lot of convenience. Lastly, every consumer wants someone they can trust. So they want to save time. So that means that if in this era, if it took you 2 weeks to complete a certain work for a client, know that because of digitalization, your competitors may be around saying that they can complete the same work in 1 week. So the customer is compelled to go for the one who is going to complete earlier because they want to save time. Secondly, they want to save cost. So if you are charging a certain amount of money for designing a logo, when in this present time, people can just create their own logos on Canva, or they can just go on Fiverr. Here in Germany, there's a platform called Fiverr. You can hire people for as low as 20 euros or something to create a professional logo for you. Why would they have to now come to you if you are charging like 600 cedis for a simple logo? Consumers are looking to cut down costs. Thirdly, consumers want convenience. So if someone orders something from you, instead of them having to come to pick it up, because remember, they want to save time and cost. So they want convenience. So now you have to establish what a delivery model where you can easily deliver whatever they are buying from you to them on time. Now, every consumer wants someone they can trust. Who would want to do business with anybody they don't trust? Because right now, the impact of digitalization has come to saturate various industries. So there are too many options available to consumers. And so they want to have one particular option that they would be attached to, one particular option that they would have confidence in. And that is why they are looking for someone to trust. So if you're able to build your business model around these four, I call them the value propositions, what you're proposing, the value you are giving to consumers, that means it's more than what they are buying. In the course of the presentation, I'm going to go much into details about, the values and the benefits and stuff, right? So this is where it starts from. The basics, understanding the basics. And I felt like I couldn't have just jumped straight into building a six-figure or a successful or profitable digital business without tackling these basics. You understand? So you need to understand these basics. Now, after these basics, we are moving on to the first important step when you have to build a profitable or successful digital business. Before I jump into the major step, I'll just walk around in the corridor. Before I open the main door, the corridor here says, if we want to build a successful digital business, and sometimes this is one of the mistakes that most entrepreneurs have done, right? I did it before when I started. I didn't do this, but now I know better. Is how would you define success for your organization? At which point would you get to as a business that you think you become successful? Because success to you would mean a different thing from what success would mean to me based on where I am, right? Even in the same industry, success to company A would not be the same as success for company B. So you have to create that benchmark first. At which point are we going to get to that we would deem ourselves a successful digital business? It means that you've been able to succeed, or you are able to succeed in the digital space. So here the question is, what becomes your benchmark? And for that, you can say, okay, we become successful when we are able to deliver beyond client expectation, even without them having to see us physically. We become successful when we are able to generate revenue from our online market space. Maybe in revenue of like 1 million cedis then we know we are becoming successful. We become successful when the people in our teams are becoming experts in their various fields in the same company. When clients can trust our work and trust us with money. So at which point would you get to that you think you'll be successful? Because that is when developing, and that's the main door I'll open for a start, developing the bigger picture, the vision. Because every business needs a vision. Every business needs to have the bigger picture. The question you have to ask yourself is, what is the bigger picture for me here? And for me, even as an existing entrepreneur, one thing I've done often when it comes to my leadership style is, in the business, no matter what you are doing, no matter what you do, the question is, what is my next best move? What is my next best move? So you don't just release a service or a product and think, yeah, we just released this. This is okay. It's good. I'm going to go to bed. No, because the digital space is very much evolving by the day. People are coming in. There's an influx of options for consumers. So you have to really stand out. And that is where you have to ask, what is my bigger picture? What is the vision? What is the vision for the company? Because the same principles that you would apply to a brick and mortar business, the same principle you're going to apply to a digital business. It's no different. Is it in the end? The only thing is the platform has changed, but then the end consumers are the same human beings that would have walked into your office space or your shop. So create that experience that you would have given people in a physical shop. And now that is what has been come to make business more sweet. The fact that you can sit at the comfort of your home and create an experience. And I'll talk more about that in the course of the presentation. So what is the vision? What is the bigger picture? Develop your bigger picture. And if your vision is not big enough than what you currently are, then it's not a vision. Your vision must not be where you are right now. Your vision must be where you are not currently. And that is the essence of developing the bigger picture. So there is the bigger picture, and then you eat into the bigger picture bit by bit. You understand me? So that is the first important thing you must take note of, right? You must take note of this important thing about building the vision. What is the vision for this digital business? Why am I moving digital? What do I want to achieve? What do I want to become? What do I want the company to become on the digital space? Do you understand? And just to add on to this a bit, or add some more flesh to it, African entrepreneurs, and I'm happy that we are all, I think everybody here is African. African entrepreneurs need to get to a point of, like, we need to stop joking with business. We need to stop joking with the way we work on the digital space. Because it goes a long way to send out a strong message about who we are and how we do the things that we do. So my policy in business is, if it must be done, it must be done well. If you won't do it, don't start. And that is the point I'll drive at with when it comes to the vision. You understand? Be excellent. Be excellent. People notice it. People notice excellence. And that is a challenge I want to give you all before I even continue my presentation when it comes to the vision. Because if you are driven by vision as a business, if you are driven by a vision, you have a certain way you operate. If you are driven by a vision, you have a certain way you make decisions. If you are driven by a vision, you have a certain standard for bringing people in your company. If you are driven by a vision, you have a certain benchmark or roadmap for including partners or building partnerships. Everything is driven by that bigger picture, that vision. The vision is what you are going to become. So if you don't set on a path of becoming what you want to become as a business on the online space, then you are going nowhere. That's the first thing. After we establish the vision, okay, now we come to the next basic important thing, which is understanding or creating your digital work culture. Your digital work culture. Culture is a way of life. In teams, like on the football pitch and stuff, teams win and teams lose because of how they play, their culture, their mindset, what drives them, what is motivating them, what is shaping their behavior at the workplace. It's the same thing when it comes to digital businesses. You must have a work culture, because right now, let me tell you the truth. A time is coming where people are no longer going to work in the offices as frequent as, it's already happening. So the receptionist job is going to now be on WhatsApp. People calling for inquiries is now shifting from the telephone to Instagram DMs, Facebook inbox. How do you respond to people on there? It sucks in Ghana, for an example, when you call an office and then as a customer service representative, somebody calls your company and then you are like, hello. And then the person is like, hi, is it so-and-so company? And then you say, yes, how may I help you? And these are the things, the same way that we handle people on social media. Somebody sends you a DM of, even if the customer goes straight to the point and says, how much? As a business who understands the organizational culture and is driven by a certain work culture, you don't just go for it and say 50 cedis. No. Hi, welcome to so-and-so business. Currently, we have stock of this product. It is selling for this and that and that. If you need any other assistance, please let me know. I'll be glad to help. That's a much better response than 50 cedis. You understand? And because the customer has the money, you need the money. You have to be able to compel You have to be able to compel them to buy what you're selling. When I talk about marketing, I'll talk more into details about that. But then when it comes to digital work culture, look at the way you respond to clients. So in creating your digital work culture, decide, how do we respond to clients on social media? What is the experience like when people come onto our website? How is the experience like? When they walk into now your website is like your website is now like your office space. So when they walk in, how is the experience like? What do they see on your homepage? When someone has just 10 seconds to spend on your website homepage, what message are you driving for them? You understand? That is the question. What are you driving? How is the experience like? How do your people respond to each other? How do you get work done? How do you monitor the workflow? How do you get work done? You understand? And how do you respond to issues? How do you handle crisis? That is the culture. I don't know if you guys have watched this movie before. It's called The Wolf of Wall Street. It's on Netflix. That's a typical example of work culture, because the guy was always hyper. The guy thought he had to stay hyper with drugs in order to stay abreast with his work and stuff. So he inculcated that culture with the people he works with. So they were all like high. So you go to an office space and everybody's high. You understand? And that is a typical example of the work culture. And it's created by the one who is starting the business, or who is running the business, or who is leading the business. So what is your work culture? That's the second thing you have to note down, developing your work culture. So when it comes to profitability and success, it's not really about the money. If you have the money on your mind, you will hardly make the money. But if you have these basic blocks that I'm going to share on your mind, you build a channel through which the money comes in. And I can tell you for that since I've been living in Germany, right? I don't live in Ghana. I come to Ghana once in a while in the year. The name of the movie is The Wolf of Wall Street. I'll type it in the chat box. The Wolf of Wall Street. Yep. So it's on Netflix. You can check it out. Yeah. So when it comes to when it comes to this entire profitability and success, it's like I was saying, I live in Germany, but still we get clients coming from Ghana. We have clients in China. We have clients in here in Europe. We have clients in America. And trust me, about 85% of our clients have not seen us before. And there are clients that we've been managing on the online space. We've been consulting for from different parts of this world for over 3 years now, and they are still our clients. And they have not seen me before. They've not seen any member of our team before. My assistant is in Ghana. I don't remember the last time I saw her, right? But she still gets work done. My team is in Ghana. The last time we met was last year in October when I was in Ghana, right? Since then, we've not seen each other, but we still get work done. You understand? And we still have clients coming to us. There are consulting companies in Ghana who are running brick and mortar. They have physical office spaces and things. They think like that's what is going to compel people to come to them. But most of them are not getting clients. But why are the clients leaving Ghana, getting out of Ghana to come to us? I live in Germany, but they still come to me. There are some clients who may possibly send us messages, emails, and then we have to respond to them. And they are from different parts of the world, and we still get work done for them. We have clients in South Africa that we are working for. We give them strategies. It's working for them. One of our clients, we are helping them expand into Ghanaian market with a t-shirt manufacturing company and stuff, and he has not seen me before. And we've been managing him since like 2018, and we've not met before. But he pays for our services. Now, there are clients who come in, they pay for the services even before we do their work. Trust. You understand? How was I able to do this? And that's what I'm teaching you. I have a vision. My vision was that I want to build what Africa's most reliable business consulting firm. So our culture is driven by reliability. The moment we lose our reliability, the moment clients cannot rely on us, the moment we cannot rely on each other as a company team, the moment we cannot rely on the strategies that we develop, the moment we cannot rely on the business model that we've created, we lose the vision. And that is what is driving every single thing that we do. We have events we do. We host the Business Startup Clinic, right? And it's sponsored by Access Bank. We've had this partnership with Access Bank since 2017. And now you'll be surprised. There are projects that I do that um, um, this is a coded conversation though, but there are projects that I do that Access Bank would literally want to be on board, and I don't have to prepare even a proposal for it, right? And they will fund it. Trust, reliability. But how did I do this? Everything is driven by the vision and the work culture, the way we work. And there's anybody who has come in contact with me and my team would attest to it. They are like, Derrick, you guys, how do you do it? You know, how do you manage these people and stuff? Yeah, but then I'll share with you how I manage my human resources as well in the digital space. I'll share those things with you. So it's good to be here. You are at the right place, right? It's good that you are not sleeping at this time, and then you are here to gather knowledge, because I believe that the more you know, the more you can do. And the reason why most of our African entrepreneurs are failing, especially the startups who start small and then they get to a little bit of attention and then they think they've arrived. The reason why most of them are failing is because a lot of things are changing on the regular. So if you don't stay abreast, if you don't pour much into yourself, if you don't learn a lot more, then you get what? You'll be outdated. You understand? Look at this point of my life, I'm still studying every now and then. When I'm making food, I'm listening to something on YouTube. When I'm free, I'm just watching something that adds on to my knowledge. You understand? So let's take note of this. Now, the next thing is I've talked about the vision, which is the bigger picture. So ask yourself, what is my bigger picture? And then what is my next best move? That's one. Now we come to the digital work culture. How do I want to create an experience on the digital space for my company? How do I want to create a work culture? What kind of work culture? What will my work culture be driven by? Like I told you, our work culture is driven by reliability. It's as simple as that. Reliability. So you see, our work culture is not driven by money. It's not driven by fame or attention or growing our followers on Instagram. No, that's not what brings the money. It is how reliable we are. And for us as a company, the funny thing is that we hardly spend on, like, I've been able to create this strategy where my cost of customer acquisition, which is the cost, how much it would have cost me to acquire a customer, is really low, because we literally don't invest much into marketing, because most of our clients are recommending us to another person. So already, like, most of it, we have like booked work stuff that we have to do even without promoting. And most of the projects that we release, we get people involved even without boosting posts on social media. You understand? There was a new project that we created recently called the 5K Challenge. We launched it. We were asking entrepreneurs in Ghana what they would do with 5,000 cedis in terms of business. Which business would you run with or start with 5,000 Ghana cedis? Without any promotional budget, without any boosted posts, we had 442 applications. You understand? We create events, and without boosted posts, we have like, last year, our business startup clinic event, I was in Ghana for it. On the day it rained, if you had not rained, even when it rained in the auditorium, my staff and then the staff of Access Bank had to stand up. Most of them had to even stand outside because the place was full. You understand? So how are all of these possible? It's by credibility. It's by the culture, the vision that we've created. So that is one. And that is the second thing, the work culture. Now, the next thing I'll talk about is understanding customer needs and behavior. So what are my customers' needs? And sometimes this must be shaped by a clear focus of the exact solution you want to start with. You know, in a room of experts, right? Take it like you are in a room full of experts. Okay, you are in a room full of people who know as much as you do. How do you stand out? You stand out by showing your expertise, and your expertise is on a certain particular market. But one of the challenges I realize with most digital businesses in Africa is that, yeah, you are trying to do this at the same time that, I do this, I do everything. So no, it doesn't work that way. You have to build with one particular tone, build one particular service or product that can be accepted. Then you can work on it, develop it, make it a strong star among your product. And then now out of it, you can gather the experience to build more stuff. And then by the time that you introduce new stuff, you've already built a market base. You understand? So based on your customers' needs, what are they looking for? What are they looking for beyond the product? Right now, for an example, nobody's buying a bed because it's a bed. We buy beds because we want a good night's sleep. So in essence, you are buying a good night's sleep, not a bed. People are no longer buying cosmetics because it's clay and they will just paint their face. You buy it because you want to feel confident, you want to feel beautiful, more beautiful, added add some value to it. So in the end, you are buying excess or extra beauty. You are buying extra confidence. People are not buying luxury watches because they have money to spare, but they want to belong. They want to have this sense of, pride that, yeah, I'm putting on this quality watch. So in the end, they are buying some sort of class. They are buying confidence. That is why Coca-Cola will not come and tell you we are selling Coke. They are saying sharing happiness. They are selling happiness. They are not. They never push for you to buy Coke. That is why Nike will not come and say buy sneakers. They say just do it. You understand? What is beyond the product you are selling online or even offline, or the product or service that you are selling, that would compel people to buy? What is beyond it? Like I said, at Platinum, we don't make too much noise. If you go on our social media, we hardly actually advertise for people to come for what we sell. Once in a while, we post our services here, but mostly we are posting our culture, what's happening, the projects we are working on, what clients are saying and stuff. Because what we sell is, we are selling a relationship. It's a relationship. We are selling reliability. You understand? We are not selling a business consulting or strategy stuff, per se. Do you understand? So understand customers' needs, and then their buying behavior. What compels them to buy what you are selling? Look at what they are currently buying from other competitors, and then what you must add on to yours in order to compel them to buy. And the question comes down to, what are also their unmet needs? Because customers have some needs that have not been met yet. And when it comes to, in my new book, I talked about how to scan opportunities. And I created two major dimensions. One of them was, obviously, you can create opportunities or you can identify opportunities from problems. But one of the smartest ways to also create opportunities is from already existing solutions. You understand? That is why we have the iPhone and then we have the Samsung, because they are options. That is why even with mineral water, there is Voltic, there's Belacqua, there's Awake. That is why MacBook will have MacBook Pro, MacBook Air. That is why there are different assortments for different kinds of products, because customers are looking for more. So the question is, what more are the people that I want to sell looking for? Find that more, that's it, you're good to go. Find that more, know how to sell it to them, and that's it. You understand? So understand the customer needs, and then what compels them to buy what you are selling. Now, the fourth thing that I'm going to talk about is about being able to run, listen to this carefully, relevant marketing campaigns. I could sit here at this point on this particular topic and talk for the whole day, because that is my area. Well, that's one of my areas, but then it's something I'm really passionate about. Most people think that marketing is about designing a flyer or making a video of the product and posting it out there. The answer is no. Now, let me give you a very practical tip. This is how I do marketing, my marketing job here, right? Or my marketing duties. So what you have to actually do is to create an entire marketing campaign. So create an entire marketing campaign and then drive your messages with the campaign, right? So the campaign is basically like a series of activities, a series of insights, a series of materials that will convey a particular message. Let me give you a typical example here. Nike, right? Nike again. You see, Nike has "Just Do It" as it's not just their slogan, it's their campaign title. It's "Just Do It." Now, when it comes to marketing on the digital space, yeah, this is one thing you have to know. The challenge of every marketing strategist on the digital space is to develop a globally appealing message, and being able to localize it in different markets. So if you go to Coca-Cola, they did share a Coke, but in Ghana, the share a Coke was with what? Share a Coke with Ajwa, share a Coke with Kofi, share a Coke with Ama. They could have just say share a Coke with John, share a Coke with Emmanuel, share a Coke with Presla, but they realized that those are not our real local names. So in India, they'll say share a Coke with Gunjan, share a Coke with Premjit, share a Coke with that. They are local names. So they localize. So the main globally appealing message was what? Share a Coke. But then they localize it for different markets. And that is what an international market, when it comes to international market, that's what we do. You understand? Creating a globally appealing message, and localizing it in different markets. So now, when it comes to that marketing, you have to create an entire marketing campaign. What I'll tell you is that I'm running a marketing course for um, company founders. So I'm also the president of the founders school, Pastel Founders School. We run an online founder school for founders and business professionals, and then we have a new course that we've introduced. It's a free course, but you have to pay for the course materials. It's called there's a course in consumer behavior and marketing. So you're going to learn how to create marketing campaigns, how to understand and study consumer behavior in creating marketing materials, all of those stuff, especially for the digital space. So if you want to sign up, you can get in touch, and then I can send the link to sign up. Application closes on 25th August, right? Cool. So let me move on from there. So now, when it comes to marketing, you have to create a marketing campaign, and also look at how to create a compelling message. For example, if you're selling a bag, consumers are not going to the ladies are not going to buy the bag because it's just a bag. Look at what the ladies are looking for right now in a bag. People want to still be, the ladies I know, for example, I always say like, they like to hold like their entire wardrobe in their hands. So you see, that's even a campaign idea, like a wardrobe in your hand. So if you have a bag that has a lot of compartments, you can sell it to them in a way that's okay. So it's two ways. Imagine somebody just coming in to say, okay, hi, buy this bag. It has 5 zips and blah, 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 blah. But another person coming to say, imagine your wardrobe in your hand and still looking cool on your outfit, right? And so if you're able to incorporate that wardrobe in the hand as a marketing campaign, so your wardrobe is in the hand, it's not a wardrobe, but it's a bag because it has a lot of compartments. You understand? So these are the things that are shaping consumers' attention, consumers' behavior. Yeah. And so you'd have to be able to understand what the kind of language the consumers are saying. What are they communicating? What are they saying often? So that you can grab some of these things to create a campaign title. And then now the flyer that you're going to design is part of the campaign material. It's not it's just a composition of the campaign material. If you have a video, it's part of the campaign material. What are the insights? What are the key performance indicators? What are the messages you want to send across? Do you want to correct a certain behavior? Do you want to show people how to use your product better? What do you want to do with the campaign? So it's an entire campaign you have to create for the data space. So it flows like that. It's not inconsistent. And for me, I do my campaigns like 3 months. I actually had a review session today with my one of the companies that I work with here, the owner, and then we were talking. And then according to the feedback I had was great. Like I had been running a certain campaign for the past 3 months, and it caused our revenue to triple from May. So between June, July, we tripled our revenue because of the sessions. You understand? So that is what we are looking for, the results, because it brings the results. You understand? It brings the results. Yeah. So that is one of the things you have to understand. Like running relevant marketing, campaigns, and then being able to run very relevant marketing content, because content is king. It's all about content. Now, before I bring my presentation to a close, one of the things I also talk about is I'll talk about two final things, and then I will take your questions, and then we can have more in-depth conversation in this regard. So one of the next things also, you have to learn how to, when it comes to building a team, because you cannot do it all alone, right? You need a team, and you need partners on the digital space to push what you are selling, to push the message that you develop. How do you build your team? How do you manage your team? Right? For me, in the end, like I've made the entire process easier for you. It's the vision. The vision drives everything. Where are we heading to? How do you want to get work done? This shapes the kind of people you bring in. So if you don't have a standard as a business, you are open to anything. If you don't have a standard as a business, anything is okay for you. But in business, it's not about trying your luck. Business is a carefully planned out process, right? You have to be very intentional. And one of the key things you have to learn how to do as a business owner or as a business entrepreneur, even as a business professional, even if you are here, you don't want to be an entrepreneur, right? One of the things you have to understand is that in the next coming years, the future of work is that no company wants to just hire a basic employee. Now we'll be looking for entrepreneurs, people who are problem solvers. You understand? So that will drive the recruitment strategy of most companies. And you'll be able to succeed in the market space or in the business space if you have that value. So for me, recruiting people is, I don't hire CVs. I hire people. I mean, the person, is the person accustomed to this culture? Does a person possess the qualities for this culture, for this vision? I will know right from the onset, because I know my business inside out. And that is one thing I will have to tell entrepreneurs here. I want this session to be an impactful one, in the sense that it's not just about gathering strategies, but actually understanding that the way I have run my business, I've never seen myself bigger than anybody or bigger than anything. Well, sometimes I talk to some entrepreneurs from Ghana who are really like quite basic, you know. I mean, if I say basic, I mean people that are not doing anything extraordinary. And then some of them, you ask them some questions, and then they want to throw you to their PA or assistant. I mean, first of all, like, I mean, as a business owner, you should know your business inside out. Your assistant should not be the one to know some things about your business. It shows that you are not serious. No matter how big you become, you should not lose focus of what's happening in your business. I know everything. I know my business in and out. And the fact that I have people working with me doesn't mean that I sleep. The fact that you have people working with you doesn't mean that you should take Mondays off. Who sleeps on a Monday? Who sleeps on a Monday? Who doesn't work on it? That's a sign of unseriousness. On a Monday, you're sleeping. People are shaping the digital future, and you are sleeping because you are the owner. Because you have an assistant, you don't get work done because you have people you are paying to do stuff for you. And that's a very risky way of running your business. So learn how to manage your people, because you are the light that they are going to follow. In the end, it's your business. They have nothing to lose. You understand? So build your company's team based on the culture and the vision. Hire the right people, right? And be honest with communication. Communicate what's happening. Find a way to communicate. Oh, by the way, there are a lot of digital platforms that you can work with. Asana, Monday.com. I mean, even now WhatsApp. I'm sure WhatsApp at a point is going to become like a home office. They will have it, something of that sort. You understand? So it's a way of communicating. In the end, when it comes to communication, I'm not strict with the fact that, yeah, I mean, because it's a company, I have to send my staff an email. What if the person is not by the laptop at that time? WhatsApp will do the work. WhatsApp is the same information. In the end, the message has been spelled out clearly. You understand? So you have to be very tactical with how you waste time on communication with your team and how you give them information. You understand? So building your team based on the purpose of your organization, the vision, and then the culture. It's how you can get the right people involved, because you are not carried away by someone's appearance or someone's big jargons. Because there are people who can talk, but they can't work. That's the truth. There are people who can really talk, but when it comes to the work, they cannot do the work. And those are not the people who bring results in the company. So be very careful about the way you let people in. Be very, very selective. I'm very picky. I am very, very picky with the people that I work with, and I don't rush with my team. Sometimes I make strategic decisions. Must I hire someone, or I should rather invest in the one there so that they can add on more knowledge and do more? In the end, we save recruitment costs. We save ourselves pressure for the time being, and still be able to maximize the output from the person that's currently in there. And that's one of the strategies that I used when I was my company was growing. I mean, this is not a business growth class, so I cannot share much about that. Yeah, but then when it comes to growth, there are strategies, there are decisions that you have to make when the business is growing, so that you can still be able to grow steadily. You know, we have the business cycle, right? So the introductory stage, and then the point where you are becoming known, and the point of maturity. So the introductory stage, the growth stage, the maturity stage, and then the decline stage. But then the goal of every business is that you want to stay above the curve. You don't want your curve to drop. So for me, my strategy meetings, all that we are trying to do is that, how do we keep our curve sustained? How do we make sure our curve doesn't decline? Because our curve cannot decline. If it declines, then our business is declining. And then that means all the effort we put into running the company or building the company is going to waste. So how do we keep the curve up there? It's one of the ways is by letting your people know as much as they can, so that they can bring in the people. Because when you come in, then my consultants know what they are doing. You can trust what we do. Then now it releases stress. It releases the pressure off me. You understand? And then they can also do more and then feel more of a part of the business, and then open different. But so my growth strategy has been very steady. I didn't rush in the beginning to do a lot of things, even though there was a vision. I had a bigger picture. But then at this point, we are now releasing things bit by bit. We started the Paso Founders School in May, and it's been a huge success. We've trained founders from different parts of Africa. Our marketing class that we just opened applications for, we've had sign-ups from the UK, from different parts of Africa and stuff. And the class is going to be a very diverse class. And our events, whatever we do, it just becomes successful because there's a certain laid out plan. There's a certain laid out structure that we follow to make sure that everything in the business is going steady. We are staying compliant. We pay our taxes in Ghana. We make sure we don't have any legal issues. We make sure we don't have any issues around our business, even though we run a digital business. And the fact that we run a digital business doesn't mean that we don't make time to physically see our clients. We make time to see our clients. I have consultants who handle different clients. I also handle some of the clients, our major clients. I make time to see them when I'm in Ghana or when I'm elsewhere. Some of our clients are in Sweden. Sometimes I take trips there, or in different parts of Germany here. I make trips just to go there, check up and stuff. And these are all ways to build a connection with the people that put money into your business. Don't joke with the people that put money on your table, period. Now, so after understanding the essence of building your team with your company culture and then stuff, you understand, the next part that I'll talk about will be what? Managing your cash flow. I realized that most entrepreneurs in Africa don't know what to do with money. And if you don't know what to do with money, you cannot become successful when it comes to managing money. Because managing money is different from managing a team or managing people or managing affairs in a business. Money is very delicate. What do you do with the profits? How do you keep your profits up? How do you reduce your costs so that your profit margins can increase? How do you keep revenue coming in? At which point must you diversify and open up and then create more products and services for more people to come in to pay for what you are doing to increase your revenue? Now the question is, when the money comes, what do you do with the money? Do you let the money sit in your account just like that? Do you invest the money? What do you do with the company's money? Because a successful business is also a profitable business, and a profitable business is one that has money. You have money to do stuff. You have money to pay your team. You have money to. So for me, my strategy was different. Instead of renting an office space to build credibility, like people thought years ago, I invested in building credibility on the online space. So rather than just putting money into an office space as a consultant, I rather put money into my people. So our company pays for training for our staff. Every quarter or half yearly, everybody must take an online course or a course to develop themselves, which is paid for by the company. You understand? And that is a way to invest in the people. And then we have a very low employee turnover rate, which is the rate at which people leave the company. If you leave the company, then possibly it's because I fired you. And the last time I fired anyone from my company would be about 2 years ago. Yeah, I quite remember that about 2 years ago. Two of our consultants had to do a job. I paid them for, and they did. One of them didn't do it, and then came up with a flimsy excuse. And then yeah, I had to. That was like the most part of it. I couldn't take it any longer, and then I fired him. Yeah, and then I don't regret that I fired him. So I mean, that is how we run the entire show. You understand? Know what to do with money. Invest money in your people. Pay your people well. Pay them. Even if it's sometimes it's commitment is not, it's not about giving, it's not in the size, but it's about the consistency, right? When they get the work done, pay them. If it's something, whatever it is, like money is a motivation. You cannot take that out. Sometimes we talk and be like, money is not money. Money can solve a lot of problems. Money can do a lot of things. But the question is, what do you do with money? You understand? In Akan, we say, yeah, the nam ne yinam. But some people want to get the fish without fish. It doesn't work that way. If you want the right things to be done, if you want good stuff to be done for you, if you want to demand someone's time to do anything for your business, make sure that you are paying for it. You understand? In any form. You understand? So learn how to manage cash flow. And also, one of the last things I'll talk about to round up, I would love for all of us here. Let me share I think I don't share this in speaking engagements, but I'll share this with you. Build your credibility on the digital space from a genuine point of view. One of the mistakes I see a lot of people, entrepreneurs in Ghana make, that is so sad, is everybody wants to become a brand. 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 They want to show big. They want to show they are polished and stuff. Fine. For me, you know, if you come on my social media, I like taking good pictures. I mean, come on, nobody wants to take bad pictures. I like taking good pictures, but that's because it's my reality. You know, when you see me take a picture in maybe a hotel or something, it doesn't mean I want to borrow it or something. My work requires me to travel. It's a paid expense. I don't have to pay for some of the places that I sleep in or some of the things, the days that I embark on, right? So if someone is then trying to also oh, because this, and that's an unnecessary competition that is in Ghana right now, right? Oh, he has posted. I also have to post. Build your credibility that when you put something out there for your business, if you're an entrepreneur, you can't just do anything just anyhow on social media. You can't just be anyhow. It's not allowed. It's not fine because you are. If it's a unless it's a business you are not serious about. But if you're really serious about, see, my business is like my life. Fine, I render services to other companies. I love doing that. But my business, you know, it's what I own. It's mine. I don't joke with it. I don't joke with myself. I'm not so enthused about me being a brand, even though people think I am. Like, I have some sort of influence, and I realize that I've been able to build some credibility on the online space that when I post anything about my business, I get people buying. Like, I'm one of those that make money from social media, for real. I won't lie to you. If I stand here to say that I've not made money and great connections from social media, I'm a big liar. I've met people on social media. I sell stuff on social media. I sell my books on social media. I've done stuff on social media. The same social media that somebody would come and be taking off their clothes and people would just be admiring without paying a dime. And none of my courses or none of my projects, events is free, but I still get people sign up because there's value. And I've been able to communicate that value with my lifestyle, with what I post. And what I post is not, it's not like at a point it's you know, in the beginning, it may be like you are intentionally being careful of how you are posting and building your credibility on the online space. But for me, it's like a lifestyle. That is me. That is me. Like there's no person off, and maybe the only difference is that when I am with my friends and I'm vibing with my friends, obviously I won't be that way with strangers on social media because my friends and my friends have a private life. I don't post everything happening in my private life on social media. You understand? I don't do that. I don't even post half quarter of what happens in my daily life on social media. Now, but building the credibility is also by showing consistency with what you sell. When I started my business, when I started my business and I started posting flyers on social media, nobody was minding me. 5 years ago, nobody was minding me. But I kept doing it. I kept trying. I would wake up in the morning, pick my bag, and I was not just sitting on the online space. So I was walking out there in the sun. I would walk to Osu, and when I see any company in Osu, I just walk into the office and just say, "Hi, my name is Derrick. I'm a plasma of contributions limited. We do this," and some of them would humiliate me. Some of them would look at me a certain way. One morning, I just woke up. I was like, you know what? Maybe Accra is not good for me. I just went to the circles Kwame Kuma Circle. I booked a bus ticket to Tamale. Sat in the bus for 12 hours. Once I got to Tamale, I got a certain someone to ride the bike. I sat behind the bike. I just went to any company I saw in Tamale, talking to my product. I have put in the work. I have put in so much for this company, right? Alone. At a point, I had people, some two guys joined me in the company. Things happened. They left. I was left alone. I never gave up on this company. I still kept pushing. I still kept doing it because because of the bigger picture. Because that time, the current situation at the time was not the end for the company. It's just a process. And that's one thing I understood. It was a process. You understand? So building credibility has to do with consistency. And then now when you become consistent, you become more knowledgeable because you are making mistakes. You are realizing things faster than someone who is in the classroom. So I learned consulting on the job. Sometimes I feel like it's my gift God gave me. I mean, I'm a creative guy. My head day form for business, right? I love what I do with business, and I thank God for that. And then also I realized that I know how to use my gifts. I know how to communicate my gift. I know how to put it to use for human benefit. Because the more you serve, the more impactful you become. The more impactful you become, what happens is that when you become impactful, people will need you. The more needful you become, the more relevant you become. The more relevant you become, credibility up, because now they'll be talking about you. When your name is mentioned in important meetings, and I challenge every one of you here, build some credibility for yourself, build some lifestyle for yourself, that your name will not be mentioned when they are planning party. Your name will not be mentioned when they are planning a funeral. Your name will not be mentioned when they are planning a boys hangout, a drink up. But your name should be mentioned at board meetings. Your name should be mentioned in very important meetings. Very, very important meetings. Your name should be mentioned there. But some of us, our names are never mentioned in any place that's is of value. It's when, oh, shall I make you do some drink ups? Oh, call John. John, they will come. No, that's this good. That is not the ultimate. You understand? Your name should be mentioned, and that is when, if you are building credibility, your name is mentioned in important places. Sometimes you look at some of the people you admire and you think like, this and that, but they put in the work. When you call for conferences, how many people come? How many people come? How many people want to be developed? But everybody wants money. How do you get money when you are not money attractive? How do you get money when you are not money attractive? How do you get opportunities when you are limited yourself, when you are not up to the task? When they put you there right now, and then someone who has put in the work, would they not choose the person over you? When I came to Germany for the first time, people were telling me that, oh, maybe my company will collapse. Maybe when I come to Germany, I wouldn't get a job to do because I don't speak German or something. But I told myself, I was like, you know what? No matter where I am, I can shine. And it's something I told myself. And I can tell you for a fact that the opportunities that have come for me right now is beyond what I have to do. I'm at a point where I have to even decide to quit a job to take another contract. And it's not like something that is bad per se. I mean, these are works that I have to. I'm becoming a part of people shaping the digital future here when it comes to marketing. You understand? And I'm Ghanaian, 100%. I'm from Ghana, and I'm not letting anything limit me. Opportunities come and people are mentioning my name. Oh, I think Derrick will be best for this, because they've seen the results. Results speak for itself. So I no longer go and sell service that, oh, I can do a business plan. No. I don't remember the last time I was advertising that people should come for business plans. But even I can tell you, even as of today, I closed a business plan deal for the company in Ghana. Yesterday we closed one. You understand? So it's like it keeps working, and also we don't take our growth for granted. Credibility on the online space, because people cannot see you. They are not seeing you. How do you get the work done for the client? Put in the effort. Don't charge an amount of money for service and then give them a shabby job. When you do that, you're not cheating anybody. You are destroying your own self. Don't take orders for a product and give them a bad. Like let African entrepreneurs, let's create a standard. Let us stop succumbing to standards from China, and then let's have the African standard. What is the African standard? What is the African standard? And the African standard will be set by you and me, right? I'm here and I see and I know what people think about Africa. But we have brilliant people in Africa. We have brilliant people here who are doing great stuff, who can do great stuff. So let us have the African standard. What is our standard? African is not all about people. I mean, and it's sad what the social media shows about Africa over here. It's slave queens and funny stuff. I hardly see any German. I hardly open my Instagram to see threads from like stupid stuff from the European market or from Germany, and then they trending, because you will not become a star in Germany by stripping naked or by doing something that is really doesn't make sense. No, so what is the African standard? What is your African dream? Put your African dream in your business. And lastly, before I end my presentation, I want to add that we can change the world with our businesses. The reason why I'm very particular about the way I do my work is, I cannot. Sometimes you think, changing the world is too big. One person cannot change it. That's a lie. When I change the way I treat my customers, my clients, if I improve on the way I talk to my team members, if I improve on the way I listen to my people, if I improve on the way I communicate my value, if I improve on the way that I get work done for clients, that's how I change the world with my business. I mean, we pay taxes, we contribute to the economy of Ghana, we create employment, right? We are bringing opportunities into Africa. That's how I change the world. Now, how would you change the world with your business? That's the question. So build your business on purpose. Have a purposeful plan for your business. Don't just go into business because you think it's profitable. No, go back to the drawing table. Re-strategize. Don't go into a profession because you think you'll make money there. Change the strategy. Be purposeful. Come on. You know, I know we are all young people here, most of it. If we don't correct the things that we do right now, I promise you, our kids are going to come and they'll be so disappointed in us that we had the chance to create a certain path, to change a certain standard, and we didn't. And with this, every one of us here is involved. So building a data business or a successful design business encompasses all of these things. Success is not just about money. Success for me is when purpose is achieved. Now, what is your purpose? What is the purpose for the business? Because until you are able to achieve the purpose. So let me give you a typical explanation of what purpose could be. The phone, right? You know, the reason why the phone was made was to connect people on voice calls and stuff, right? So the phone calls matter a lot when it comes to the phone. Do you realize that if you are using a WhatsApp video or you are doing Instagram live or whatever thing you are doing, once a phone call comes to the main line, everything stops. It disrupts everything and then the call comes to you. But when you're on the call and somebody is calling on WhatsApp or somebody is messaging on Facebook, it basically doesn't matter because the main reason why the phone was made, the purpose was to make the phone call. So until that purpose has been achieved, then it's not successful. So that is why when the phone call comes to you, that's purpose calling. Purpose is important to the phone. So build your organization on purpose. I've shared all of these things I've talked about. This is even like a chapter in my new book that's going to come. It will be open for pre-order soon. I'll find a way to communicate with you guys. My book is going to be reviewed by the Association of African Universities. We also have CCTV on standby to review and some other organizations here in Europe. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's called Shoot Them Down. I'll share the cover with you guys on the page. I don't know. Elizabeth, I'll just find a way to have it to you, and then you can share with them when it's open for pre-orders and stuff. So in a nutshell, yeah, this is how I have been able to build a profitable digital business and still managing it, for the benefit of others and to make the world a better place with what we do. We are making people's business dreams come true, and I love doing just that. So thank you very much for your time, for listening to my presentation. I'm really humbled, and thank you. Yeah, at this point.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Derrick. That was a whole lot of wise and deep information in short expanse of time. We are very grateful. So guys, the questions and answer session is open now. Kindly send any question you have to the chat box. So whilst we wait for your questions, I can see Abdul Rahman already asked one. Before we just go to the question, I just wanted to so I think let me start with mine okay, great. So they are still sending their questions. So let me just start with mine. So you mentioned something about, so I have a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration and I majored in Human Resources. That part really, really caught my attention. When I was my final year, I started working with a fully remote company. I mean, I was any one of them, but I was working with them, and I'm still with them till date. So it's been like 3 years, and it's never really caught my attention that I was kind of building a skill that would matter later in life. Because as you said, now companies are coming online. Nobody wants to build a physical structure anymore. And we are currently recruiting, and one of the things we were looking for is someone who is very tech savvy. So in building your digital business, as a founder, I'm sure all this will be part of. Please kindly mute your audio. Okay, group etiquette, please mute your audio. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah, so one of the things that really caught my attention, so in building your digital business, I'm sure all this will probably be part of the founder's core competencies, or rather, should I say, what are the core roles that you need? You talked about culture. I feel like
Yeah.
the organizational structure is part of the
Yeah.
company's culture.
You
So
know.
what
Yeah.
are those key roles that you think you should have when you are starting a digital business?
Very good. So first of all, the key rules would differ based on the type of business, right? So it depends on the type of business, and then yeah, if you're in the founders school, we have a course called the foundation course for company founders, right? We graduated our second set of founders. That was last month, and then the next class is going to be in September. Yeah, but in that class, you learn a tool that I've developed called the business model matrix. It's my new book as well, right? So that one will help you to decide your business process and then the kind of roles you want. That's an easy way to be able to work around that. Yeah, so for me, the best thing I would say is that knowing the kind of people you need in your team or your organization structure is majorly influenced by your business processes. You understand? But obviously, some of the key roles, like right now, marketing is very important, especially digital marketing, very important. You understand? So you need someone in charge of that. You need someone possibly in charge of how do you call it? If you're into manufacturing, you need someone in charge of production, supply chain, and logistics. Very, very important, right? You need someone who is going to be in charge of maybe your social media content creatives, copywriter and stuff. You also would need someone maybe in charge of finances. You need someone in charge of sales, or you can let the person in charge of marketing, if the person is smart enough, blend with sales, because sales and marketing are different stuff. You understand? So the roles that you need really would differ based on the kind of business you want to establish and the kind of business process that's involved in your business. Yeah.
That's great. Thanks very much. I think also moving forward, another area that really caught my attention is the leadership. When you talked about leadership, I feel like leading a digital business may be different from leading the brick and mortar kind of business.
Mm.
From my personal experience too, I saw that it was different because you are working, like you said, you're working with people you haven't seen, and you see, we were taught in school that when it comes to communication, in fact, the non-verbal tells you 80% of what the verbal is saying. So
Yeah.
when you don't
Yeah.
you don't necessarily see these people regularly, and sometimes you have to do with phone. I mean, thank God for videos so you can see their body language and stuff. But how is leading a digital business different from leading the brick and mortar kind of structures?
Very good question, Elizabeth. Very good question. Leading the digital business, what it means is you are leading a very modernized business model. The brick and mortar business is a very old structure. It's a simple model that, you can easily see people, you can make decisions around stuff and all of that. But with digital business, it's quite different because you have to be very obviously one of them is to be tech savvy. You have to be very abreast with various technological tools and systems that you can use to work. That is one. So the leader must, and the thing here is that, brick and mortar, the boss sits down somewhere and then feels like people have to get work done. But with digital businesses, you are part of the process. You are shaping the digital future. Your business is shaping the digital future, and your leadership must be involved. And then also leading the digital business in this sense, you have to know as much as your business can do. So the demand for acquiring more knowledge is high. You have to know that a lot of tools are coming up every now and then. So you have to be abreast with them. And then also, you have to be very disciplined, because what pushes you to wake up at 6 a.m. to open your laptop and sit down and work? You are compelled to sleep. If you're working from home, for example, have a habit of like trying to be disciplined with something. You understand? So the discipline becomes harder even on your own self as a leader. You have to be very disciplined as a leader, because and you be disciplined in some of these little stuff. One of the things I do personally is I before I leave home for work, every morning, no matter how late I am to catch the bus, I have to lay my bed before I leave home. If I don't lay my bed, I'm not leaving. Then I'd rather lay my bed and run helter skelter to catch the bus because it's what starts my day. It gives me that fulfillment, right? And I leave home at 6:20 every morning, latest 6:24. You understand? So, I mean, you have to wake up on time. You have to sleep, and sometimes, I mean, for me, because of the demand on my time, sometimes I have to sleep maybe around 10 p.m. and I wake up at 3 a.m. work on my laptop, and when it's like 5:30, I go freshen up, eat something, and then by 6:20, I leave home. Right? So I try to create that system of discipline for myself. And when I'm tired, I rest. You understand? So leading yourself, it becomes challenging even with running a data business because you have to make sure that you are abreast with what's happening on your system. Have better systems. Have a way of monitoring your finances. Have a way of monitoring your team. Have a way of monitoring things going in and out of your company. You must be the knowing of everything. So that becomes quite difficult when you are doing a data business as compared to brick and mortar when you can just open a file and you know what's happening. You can see people around working and stuff and things like that. But that is what the difference is with running a brick and mortar and data business. By the end, the principle remains the same. The principle of credibility, the principle of growth, the principle of work culture, the principle of vision and stuff, they are constant for all of these, but the strategy differs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. So I'll just go to Abdul Rahman's question. So he said, how are you able to manage the growing number of customers in your business? I guess it's something about capacity building. How are you able to manage the growing number of customers?
Yeah, so I have a client, we call it the client's experience manager at Platinum. She's in charge of creating an experience for our clients, right? Whilst I focus on the clients that I manage. So I have a personal relationship with my clients. Actually, my clients, I'm quite cool with my clients. You know, my clients and me vibe. Like sometimes I see some of my clients post me on their status. They're hyping me on their GP and stuff and all of that. You know, and that's a relationship I have with clients. So you know, it's like a relationship for me. And fine, even though it's become very difficult to have that relationship with everybody. But here's the thing: I choose my clients. Clients don't come for us just because they can afford us. Clients are our clients because we choose them to. That is how we work at Platinum. So there's some clients that I kicked out after like getting the work done for you. I'm like, no, we are not doing this with you again because your work style and your culture doesn't fit with ours. No, so that is how I manage the people that are coming in. I try to see because obviously the fact that a lot of people are coming doesn't mean that they are all good for you. Some of them they just have to come and go. That should be it. But some clients you know that okay, this is a long-term journey. Yes, and if you are a business leader with a high instincts and you are very observant, right? You know who to take in and who to kick out. The same way I kick out someone who is not being useful in my team, I kick out clients who are not accustomed to our culture, who are not kind, clients who are not honest, clients who are not serious, clients who are selfish, clients who are self-centered, clients who don't treat their staff well, clients who don't treat people well. No, I can't be attached to such a brand. You understand? So that's how I manage the way people come in for our company. How we grow clients.
That's super true. I mean, I feel sometimes you see with these clients, there's so many client philosophies about the client is always right, the customer first, and it takes really a lot of deep knowledge to understand that just the way you strike every kind of relationship, you cannot keep a relationship with every kind of person, like you said.
Exactly.
You can keep a relationship with every kind of person. I mean, a client that doesn't pay you regularly or defaults with payments, is that really a client you want to keep?
And
So
I did an article about, I think I did an article on types of clients you shouldn't entertain in your business. I think so. I think I did on LinkedIn. I'll try and find a link if it was that. Yeah, but I've written about something like this, before. I think order a video or something. Yeah, but there are some clients that for me as a consultant, I know the red signs. I don't entertain something. No, it's just like for me, even as a speaker, not every platform is an opportunity for me. Some platforms to speak are plots. They are not opportunities, and I can tell from a start. So there are some people who come for me to speak somewhere and I know that this is not the place for me, this is not the audience that need what I have, this is not it. And I think one of the things that has helped me, I'm not there yet, but one of the things that has taken me further from where I used to be in business is I know when to say no to myself and to others. Sometimes the no you have to say is to you yourself. Tell yourself, Derrick, no. No matter how much you want this is not good for you. It's not the right time for this for you, right? And then also understanding that not everybody will buy what you sell, no matter how good it is. It doesn't mean you are bad. It just means that there is something for everybody, period.
Wow. Thank you so much. This is very true. I mean, guys, if you don't note anything from this session, at least I think you should always remember that there's a time to say no. And maybe sometimes your business just started with you pitching to the wrong people, and that's why it hasn't started yet. So another question from Abdul Rahman. He says, I want to create a digital business that requires production of videos, but I'm not an expert in this. Please kindly advise me on what to do.
Okay. You want to create a digital business that requires production of videos. I'm not an expert in this. So you have to ask yourself some basic questions, right? And first of all, if you say production of videos, which area of production are you talking about? Because video production is big. There is sound, there is pictures, there is the how do you call it? Equipment side. If you want to rent out equipment, if you want to the platform to add whatever it is, it's quite a big place to play with it. So what exact part would you want to play within? What part of the industry are you going to, or what part of the market space do you want to focus on? And then now you can decide how you're going to go about it. If the how you are going to go about it is too weak and you feel it's going to put too much pressure on you, then you have to re-strategize or then make another decision, right? The best advice I would give you is to clearly know which area you want to go into when it comes to production, and then focusing on something and giving it a shot. If you feel you are ready, if you feel it's something you can do, right? And if you're not an expert in the entire space on its own, if maybe you have the money to invest in such, I think you have to mute the person's microphone. Yeah. So if you have the funds to want to invest in such a business, then you can find someone who is an expert and join hands. So you have the money, you have the connections, the person has the expertise. Boom. You can create a business together once there's trust. So that's the best advice that I can give you.
Wow, thanks. Abdulrahman, I hope that helps and answers your question. But yes, so as Derrick said, it's possible, but you may need to analyze the feasibility again. I mean, I want to give a personal testimony about I think where I did my national service. The boss over there, I had an opportunity to speak to him, and he has a background in business administration, precisely finance, but his company is it's a medical equipment company in the sense that they go on turnkey projects. I don't know if meaning that they build, they equip, they design a company for you and give you the key. And they do it for hospitals. So Bank of Ghana Hospital, those big projects, this is what they do. Like he is not the medical doctor. He's not a medical, he never did medicine. So it's possible.
Very possible.
Yeah. So Wadam says, how do I get the attention of my customers after a long break trying to rebrand my product? How do I get the attention of my customers after a long break trying to rebrand my product?
Okay, so if I don't know if when you were rebranding the product, you actually announced that you were rebranding or you're going on break. So that has to do with public relations, right? PR. Mm-hmm. So did you inform your customers that you were rebranding or you're going on break to rebrand to bring them more value? That's a question. If you didn't, or if you did, now here's the thing. Apply the same question into human relations. How do you get back your girlfriend after you took a little break from your relationship? right? It's a similar strategy. You understand? How do you get them back? And that's how it is. It is like you walking out of someone's life for a while and now trying to walk back in. One thing you have to know is that their lifestyles will possibly change without you, right? So they possibly have moved on to something else because no customer is going to wait for you. No, they are not going to wait for you. So what have they moved on to? So if it's a journey, right? If it's a journey that now they are here, and then you are here. So what you have to do is that you have to try and catch up with them to understand what they are looking at, or what their lifestyles have become. So now you have to come and then see what they are up to over here. That will give you more ideas as to how to communicate what you have to them in a different language now, because now their language, what they are going to be attracted to will be different from what it used to, because you've taken a break from them, you've been away, but then it didn't mean that they have been waiting for you. No customer waits for anybody. They've moved on. So what have they moved on to? Go and look at that place. What are they seeing there? And try to create something similar to attract them to come for it, for what you have. So then it becomes like a magnet. It pulls them back to you. So the campaigns you develop, the marketing messages you develop, that compels them to want to come back to you, period. So that's how I think after going on a long break to rebrand your product, you have to use that strategy. Aside that, drive a strong PR. Tell them that you want to make the product better. State the new features of the product. Come up with a better marketing strategy, marketing content. Come up with something new. Because if you come back with the same old stuff, they are going to look at you. It's going to be very difficult for them to even think you are serious in the first place. You understand? So give them something that was worth the wait.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. So wait, then please get them back. Why? Get them back. I think just in addition, I don't know how many of us paid attention to the I think is it Barclays ABSA transition. Yeah, I think that's also a good local example you may want to look at.
Yep.
Yeah, how did Barclays transition into ABSA? That would also be a great thing to look at. Yeah.
Let's not, if we don't look too far, we can also look at one of my favorite guys, Shatawali, when he was bandana, how he switched. You understand how he switched and then became more appealing. Look at that case study. He came with something new. He didn't come with the same old sound. He came with a Shatawali sound, a Shatawali appearance and stuff, and that actually gave him the chance to become who he is now.
That's true. That's true. So, Charlie, guys, there are examples everywhere. Yeah. Oh, I see. Interesting.
Yeah, Sota is my guy. I know I don't look like a Sota fan, but I like the person. I find him very interesting.
Interesting. Also, Abdul Rahman seems to be our top audience for today. He's asking another question. It says, have you ever rejected a client's offer simply because you can meet it? I guess he meant simply because you can't meet it. And do you feel?
How do you feel after?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. How do you feel afterwards?
Very good question. Have I rejected a client's offer? Practically, have I? Because I can't meet it. Yes, I have. Somebody came sometime, or we even had one recent issue last year. They wanted something that we don't do, and I was like, "Oh, we don't do it, but we have a partner who can do it, right? I'll just refer you to this person." And I get clients come to ask for some of the things that they know that I can do personally, but as a business we don't do, and because I don't have the time to do it, I don't want to take on something I cannot deliver. I reject it. You understand? Yeah. So that's a typical case, and I feel good afterwards. It's better to be honest than to take on something just because the money is good and then now you put yourself under pressure. I like a lot of peace of mind. I wouldn't trade my peace of mind for anything. So anything that brings me peace of mind, I'm in for it. If it's going to disturb my peace of mind, I can't afford to trade my peace of mind for anything. Or for a client to stand somewhere tomorrow and say that these people, they say they are good, but I went there and done it. No. Even though we can't be perfect, we can't have a good reputation all with everybody. I mean, every good person is bad in someone's books in the end. But then it doesn't mean that I have to entertain bad stuff, or I have to entertain too much risk to become a bad person in someone's book. So yeah, I mean, I reject what I can't do. We have what we can do. We don't do everything. We can't do everything. That is not real. Nobody can do everything. So yeah, and I feel great about it afterwards. Not a big deal.
Great. I'm sure we are learning so much from this. I mean, especially from other people's question. But please don't just benefit from other people's question. Try to ask your question now. Yes, so try to ask your question now. So whilst I'll just give a few more minutes. In about 5 minutes, we'll be wrapping up. So in case you still have any question which you haven't asked, or somebody hasn't asked on your behalf, as usual, please try to send your questions in now. So I think I'll just go a little bit again into the leadership of digital businesses. Um, I, I, I like the fact that you mentioned the fact that self-leadership is the first thing to really train yourself at.
Yeah.
How do you? Well, it was somewhere last year. I was doing this study for Harvard University project on on the remote working transitioning, and this was even before COVID started. And already research is showing that the young people of today would prefer flexibility over like flexibility was rated as their top benefit. So I don't know if your team members are they full-time employees of your company. If they are not full-time employees, it means that they probably combine with other brick and mortar kind of business, most likely.
Yeah.
If that's the case, how does time management look for them? I mean, I can understand for you because it's a priority for you to have a way, but how are you able to manage your people? Are they are they all full-time workers? Full-time workers? If not, how do they combine?
Yeah, thank you very much. They are not full-time workers. Everybody works part-time in the company, and they get paid according to the work that they do. So sometimes people get paid more than twice in a month. So I mean, if you get a work done, if I give you a work and you have to deliver on Monday, once you are done and everything's good, you get paid on Tuesday or Wednesday. And then if I give you another job next week too, and then you have to do it in 2 days, then you get paid after the work has been done. So that's how we say it's like you earn what you do, you earn for it. You understand? And then also, nobody works full time. And when it comes to time, I mean, if you joke with what puts money on your table, then it's your own problem. You understand? So I mean, I don't have to explain that to anybody before they know they have to apportion that. Of course, nobody forces anybody to do any stuff in my company. You cannot. It's not a charity. It's a business. So before you come in, and there's an HR. I don't make the decisions about who comes into the company, right? There's an HR. There is a head of business operations. Even me as a consultant, I report to my head of business operations, Bubune. She's our head of business operations, right? So she directs what happens in operations, and she has the right to or the power to say, Derrick, no, like to this and stuff. And people are involved in different sectors. We have a head of events. Now, I don't make that decision any longer when it comes to our startup clinic events. There's a head of events, right? For the Paso Founders School, we have a program coordinator. She handles stuff on there. All I have to do is to come and teach. And then we have new lectures we'll be adding on to the Paso Founders School, right? So people make time because I think that my team, even though I don't have a perfect team, we have got a good team, and we have a great team that people admire us from afar. I think people have become a part of the vision, so they take their work serious. Like I don't have to beg anyone to do anything. Once there's a work, we handle serious cases. So I mean, and there are some works that I don't do myself now because I'm doing more challenging works. Like it's like I can't use my I can't use let's say I cannot use $1 million brain to be doing $1,000 stuff right at this point because of time. So let someone who has to do the $1,000 stuff do them whilst they do their way to the top, and let those who have to do the $10,000 and $20,000 stuff do it. So it's that's the concept that we run it. So everybody, those who work in the company, make time for what they have to do, because you have to report. We do appraisals. We yeah, I mean, you get paid for what you're doing. It's not free. So if you don't take it serious, you're gonna lose your job. So yeah, that's I think they are intrinsically motivated. And I think one thing to have realized is, I think most of my team members, or most of the people I work with, I think they admire me, because some of them see me as a mentor. I mean, and I have a relationship with almost everybody. Like, I make time, sometimes I call, we can just talk about, stuff. We can talk about, and I think leaders who do that. I mean, my boss here in Germany, my boss called, we had a strategy meeting today, but our meeting was, the real business meeting was like 30 minutes. For the rest of the hour, we were talking about life, relationships. We have that rapport, right? And I mean, he's my boss, and like, yeah, he has the power to fire me or something, but then we make time for each other. I feel a part of the vision. I make decisions about what we have to do. I mean, in my role as a marketing person, I decide what we are doing with our marketing. You understand? So it is how it's a rapport, the relationship and stuff. I'm not here to act like I'm perfect too. I'm not perfect. I have my low moments too and stuff, but I try, and my people try. I won't sit here to say I don't have a great team. I really have a great team. They've been supportive. They've been great at what they do. And nobody in my company does anything for free. And I am happy about that. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. So it's 5 minutes already, and it looks like our team is very well satisfied with the loads of information they were acquired today. So you said the founders school, you have a session coming up this September.
Yeah. So there's one session which is a free course in marketing, which is coming up this August. Right.
Oh, okay. This month.
The deadline. This month. The deadline for applying for that course is 25th, and I think the course starts somewhere around about. Let me see. I think the course is on 27th and 28th on Zoom, right? And it's a free course. You only have to pay for the certificate and then the course materials. And then one thing to also notice, Personal Founders School is being endorsed by Unity Effect, which is a German company here in Germany. They also do these trainings and stuff. So they have endorsed our school, our courses, as a must enroll for entrepreneurs and stuff. So it's a credible program that you can enroll in. And the course materials and certificates, it's 100 CDs for one person. So for 2 days, you get to learn all of these things about marketing, practical stuff. And Founders School is not a theoretical school. It's a school for, I mean, the people you are going, and we have an alumni network. So we have an alumni network of entrepreneurs from different parts of Africa who are on there. And then they also exchange business relationships and stuff. So if once you come to the course, you can also be part of the alumni network. And then the Founders Foundation course itself, the next class is next month, which is September. But that course is 200 CDs for 3 days. It's a 3 days program.